how hard that is, personally. So hi, everyone. I'm Linda Simovich, and I am the Director of Product for Dynamics 365 for Sales. I'm really excited to talk to you today about what we've built over the past 6 months, and also a little more about what is in the product that has changed. There's been a lot of changes over the past 2 years. We've had a application and platform separation that happened, which has created the Power Platform, and the sales team is built on top of that platform, sales application, I should say. I have the sales team, and we are able to iterate more quickly now because we leverage everything that's coming out of the platform, and we get to build much more exciting innovations, and I'm going to talk about that today. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the evolution of where we've come from and where we're going, and some of the key capabilities that just came out, and some of those innovations. So everything is changing in our world today. I believe that the data in the world is increasing at 10 times by 2025, and everything is connected. So as we're living in a more connected world, all of these things that were generating data in the past that we had no way to catch, we finally have a way to catch that. So with IoT technology, all of the devices that you're wearing today, from your watch, your phone, GPS technology, that data finally can be collected in a way that can grow with the size of the data that you're collecting. And with all of that data, we're getting into a world now where intelligence can be created out of it. So I know you've probably heard over the past day or so about CDS and how CDS can be this great platform that you can put your data into. There's a whole entity model that you can leverage that's in there. You can extend that model. What's really great about the CDS is that as you are putting your data into a data model that's consistent across all of these extensibility with our partners and vendors, they're using the same exact data model as well. So what that means for AI, they can build those models off of the same exact entity model, and that helps accelerate us even further. So I can get into that further, but we are seeing a lot of our customers starting to invest in intelligence, and they're being able to take what we have built in sales insights out of the box with what we have in our product. So you can build your own as well as taking your own. Sales is evolving. Our customers who are using the sales product, the sales team is evolving. And not just the sales process, but customers are evolving. So if you look at just yourself and how you interact with salespeople, the face-to-face interaction is decreasing. If you are working with a vendor who is trying to call you on the phone, you're probably not talking on the phone unless a meeting was set up in advance. You're not just taking cold calls ad hoc. And you're also probably not picking up phone calls that are coming to your cell phone. So business purchasers want to have a different kind of interaction model. So with that, we believe that the sales tools that you're using have to change, as well as the interaction that you're having with your customers. So we're trying to adapt to that with the product to stay up to date with these industry trends. I collected some screenshots. For those of you who may have used Dynamics 365 for Sales in the past, we've come a long way. In 2003, it was a very simple interface. We've adapted that. We've added dashboards and reporting. We've gone SaaS. We're online now. We have mobile. One thing that fundamentally hasn't changed is that CRM has always been this system of data entry. So we're always trying to get the reps to put their data into CRM. And over the past, I don't know, in the history of CRM, that dynamic hasn't really changed. But what has changed is the Power Platform does give them more reason to put that data into CRM. So as you're adding accounts and updating your contact information, you get better insights out of that data. So now with the Power Platform, with Power BI, and giving them that reporting capability, giving them the ability to get next best actions or your next best customer, having those predictive insights, it's more relevant than ever for someone to feel like they're getting value out of the application. So we're in a different era now than we were before, where we were only updating the user interface and adding new features. This is now an application that has more modern usability. We have invested a lot in UX. So in my team alone, we have dedicated researchers who watch people using the application. And you'll see through our next wave, through our October, we are making tons of investments in how an end user will qualify a lead and try to reduce the number of clicks that it takes to make that happen. With the new UI called Unified Interface, we're making a ton of investment in trying to get everybody onto the same UI. And the reason for that, I'll talk a little bit about that, is that's where all of our investments are happening. So if you're still running on the older web client interface, you won't see as much innovation, as much improvement in the usability, because everything is now moving to the new UI. We have a dedicated sales intelligence team that is looking at how we can improve the process and help be more interactive in that experience with bots and natural language interaction with that bot. So you can ask the bot, what are my open opportunities for the day, and get back some information. And also it's adaptable. So everything that we're building, we want it to be usable through web, Teams, and mobile. So we're getting to a place where no matter where you are and what application you're using, you should have a very consistent experience. So this is our, a screenshot of just the new UI, but it's not just the UI that's evolved. Because we have invested very heavily into how to surface the right information at the right time, this is no longer a system of engagement. It's now transitioning into a system of intelligence, which will help the seller convert leads. It'll help them find the right opportunity to focus on and the right accounts, especially if they have a very wide spread of accounts that they need to focus on. So I was thinking about what are the 4 ways that you can maximize your investment in Dynamics 365 for sales. As I mentioned, we've been doing a lot with Unified Client. And if you're not on Unified Client, and I have a lot of customers who are not sure, they don't really understand what we had done. I was on the original team that had built Unified Client, and what we had done is made sure that even if you have an older version of Dynamics 365 for sales and you upgrade, we maintain all of those custom fields, custom entities, custom layouts on the page so that it's less disruptive and it's a more seamless upgrade experience to the new UI. And I'm happy to talk to anybody about that, but I really encourage you, you can turn that on today and start looking at it. You can have Unified Client and the old web client experience running in the same tenant. It's really important that you take a look at that because I want to make sure everyone's getting the investments that we're making in the product. And that same interface is the interface that appears on mobile today. So if you went out to the App Store on iOS or on Android and downloaded our app, you'll get a very consistent experience between the web and the mobile. We'll also be making more investments in mobile in the coming next couple of releases. You should also take a look at Sales Insights. And this is where I believe most of the innovation that we're investing in will happen. I'm improving a lot of the user interface and improving the number of clicks, but you're really going to get the value out of something like Sales Insights. And Sales Insights gives you all of the predictive lead scoring, the opportunity scoring that we have, relationship analytics, which lets you see the full spread of what's happening with your contact across the organization. And it also gives you a lot more than that. So we are investing in this bot experience, which I mentioned, which is part of Teams. So if you went out to Teams today, I had a session on Teams yesterday, but what I didn't demo was our bot. So as part of the Teams integration that's currently, it's GA'd right now. If you went out to the App Store and downloaded the bot as well, you could start interacting with that bot. And the bot understands several interactive questions like what are my open opportunities, what is this account? You can click on the account and it lets you drill into the record and take a deeper look at it. We'll be doing a lot more with that with Sales Insights, so there's more to come. very shortly, actually this summer. You should also take a look at what we're doing with LinkedIn. Now, LinkedIn is part of Microsoft, but I can tell you with confidence that we do not get all of the LinkedIn data. No one does. So if you put your profile into LinkedIn, they're very secure with that data. Believe me, it's good. It's a good thing. So no one is allowed to consume and pull all the data out of LinkedIn, which is a good thing. So what we are building are integrations which surround what is inside of LinkedIn. So if you took a look at what we have with LinkedIn Sales Navigator today, if you're licensing the Microsoft Relationship Sales, you will see different panels show up on the screen that show you what's going on with your customer in LinkedIn. So you would see the team link, you would see the connections, you would see all of the information that's relevant to that contact. Now, we're also making more investments with LinkedIn on if your customer had left the organization. We're going to tell you that in October. We can see if your customer got a new job and flag that in Dynamics 365 for Sales. And it allows you to manage your stakeholders better, because if someone's leaving the organization, you need to know and find a new stakeholder. And finally, with Teams, I felt that this one was one of the bigger investments we're going to be moving forward with, is really building that collaboration story and making sure that if you're trying to close a deal, not everyone that you work with is in Dynamics. You may be working with marketing, you might be working with other folks in product, like me. I get pinged by our sales team all the time. So it's a really great tool for collaborating around a deal, being able to find somebody quickly, and we're trying to bring the two together so that it doesn't feel like you have to open one application and then another and they don't know about each other. So I'm working closely with the Teams group on bringing a better experience. So we just had a new release in April, and our April wave. And the first piece was our Teams integration. Again, if you were there yesterday, you got to see a nice demo of it. You can watch that probably later online. Our Teams integration is very nice. You can pin a record from Dynamics into a Teams channel, and you can collaborate around that record. You can do that from Teams, where you can click on the tab, search for the record you want to pin, and pin it directly into the channel. And that syncs all the SharePoint information behind the scenes, so that if you're in Teams, you can take a look at the record, or if you're in Dynamics, you can see all of the files from SharePoint that are over in Teams. In our sales playbook enhancements, in October of last year, we just released something called a playbook. A playbook is essentially a list of tasks that you may have to do pretty often. Our own Microsoft sales team has a process called the red carpet process. So if they have a new account in their territory, we roll out the red carpet, and they have to do a series of tasks to welcome that account into the Microsoft family. And when they do that, they do it all the time. It's a very common process. So we have created a playbook to help automate these common processes. So you can create a playbook. It can be for anything that you feel that your reps have to do on a consistent basis. And that can be kicked off using Flow, or you could have it be a manual click of a button and it can deploy that playbook. We've also been investing with LinkedIn. Like I said, we are trying to build a lot around LinkedIn, trying to really bring more of a tighter integration experience. If you are using LinkedIn today with the product, you'll be able to also see the latest integration that we did with the live org chart and the panel on the right. And that was released in December. We also, I had a session yesterday on CPQ where we are trying to bring more value into CPQ, which is Configure Price Quote. CPQ is very hard to do. And we could have built our own CPQ, but we have such a rich ecosystem of CPQ vendors that have done such a wonderful job over 25 years of experience of them building these solutions that we decided it would be better if we met them halfway. So in our roadmap, we have released some features to help our CPQ vendors do a better integration experience. And they're building controls within the page that will help light up the CPQ, pricing and inventory. And they're also writing back into CDS so that if they're using the product entity in CDS, it will light up over in the F&O part of the product. So there's no integration needed. We did our first release into forecasting. I'll talk more about that in a bit, but forecasting is our first time taking a step into sales forecasting. This release was a preview release, so you can take a look at that and play around with it and give us feedback. But coming in the next couple of releases, we're going to be expanding upon the forecasting to do more predictive forecasting, roll-up, and extensibility in the forecasting product, which will make it very full-featured. And then we are also improving our sales professional product. So sales professional, if anyone's not aware, it's a similar product to sales enterprise, but it's meant for simpler use cases. And that has now a first run experience to make it easier for sales reps to get up and started. So sales collaboration with Microsoft Teams is a really great capability. We are thinking along the use case of sales where you're a sales rep and you're out on a call with a customer and you have a question from a product expert or you need to help get a proposal out there to your customer. What this really helps with is when you pin that channel into Teams, we can automatically add all of the people that are relevant to that channel so that they can see the record. And then we also allow you to work on mobile, and it's a seamless experience. You don't need to download any other app other than Teams, and you can still experience all of the great things that are in Dynamics. So I just have a quick question from the audience. How many of you are using LinkedIn Sales Navigator today? Okay, all right, so a couple. This is a really, really powerful feature. LinkedIn Sales Navigator gives you the ability to work with all of your leads from LinkedIn Sales Navigator and see them seamlessly back and forth between Dynamics and Sales Navigator, but it also allows you to see more details about your contact. We are releasing in October a tighter integration with data augmentation with Sales Navigator so that we can link together the data between LinkedIn and your contacts in Dynamics more tightly so that eventually, and this is a screenshot over here of the live org chart, that in the live org chart, we can flag exactly who had left the organization. So if LinkedIn Sales Navigator saw somebody got a new job, they're going to tell us through data augmentation, and that person will be flagged with a red dot on their circle. And if you click on that, it'll load the LinkedIn Sales Navigator panel, and you'll be able to see all of the details about what happened. Collaborative forecasting. This was our first try at forecasting. And it's a very simple forecasting capability. So if you took a look at this, you can't customize it yet. There's only one level of a hierarchy for the forecast. But what it allows for is if you have a smaller organization, you can do collaborative forecasting. So if you're sitting down with your sales team and you want to see how your opportunities are rolling up to the goals that you've set, you can sit there together and collaboratively adjust the forecast. What we're going to be doing in the future is completely, not different, but expanded upon this and it's a much more rich experience. You can have multi-hierarchical relationships between teams and regions and roll up those forecasting, and then we will have predictive capabilities. So if you're interested in forecasting, please come see me, because we would love to get feedback. We're building this right now. This is going to be built onto the same CDS, so there is no integration needed. It's not a separate product. It's just an expanded piece of our CRM product. So you would not have to do any kind of setup that's complex or mapping of fields. Everything is built on CDS. The sales playbook enhancement was just released. Now, I do want to say that sales playbooks, while they do generate a bunch of tasks into the system and assigns it to somebody, it was a great first step, but it wasn't enough. So the next step that we're taking with this is we're going to be integrating this more tightly with Flow and allowing more of this automation to be set up by an end user. So in our future releases, you're going to see a lot more come out of playbooks because it's such a powerful feature. This is where you're automating those mundane tasks, the things that you can't remember that you need to do, and we're going to put more power for the rep to be able to link this with our relationship assistant. So when you think about next best action, this would be your next best task as well. This is a screenshot of our mixed reality enhancement. Did everyone see the keynote with James with the 3D modeling in CPQ? It was really awesome. This is the next level, I think, of when you have a product that is either being built and being manufactured and you're not quite done with it and you need to show your customer what the in-progress state of that product looks like. Or if you have a product that's just too big to fit into the room. So if you have manufacturing equipment or medical equipment that cannot be carried with you on the road, this gives your customer a really great view into what that product is going to look like. You can put the iPad into the hands of your customer, they can rotate it, they can zoom in on it and take a look at the details. It's the first wave of this product. We also integrated it with Teams, so if you're doing annotations on that 3D model, you can publish those comments back to Teams. So if you're collaborating with the product group, then the product group can give you comments back on what they can adjust and fix. We did a demo with this also in our CPQ session yesterday. It's a really interesting use case. I would love to hear more from people if you are thinking about using mixed reality, because we want to make sure we're building the right kind of integrations. And this is such a net new thing that we're looking for real use cases and what products might be relevant. So I'm going to talk a little bit about intelligence. So we have released over the past few years a lot of great features. Predictive lead scoring is taking us into the inside sales foray. So inside sales is not currently an out-of-the-box persona that you get with Dynamics 365 for sales, so you're able to configure and set up those profiles as you see fit, but we are looking more at how to build that better lead generation and management experience. And with that, we're looking at how we can integrate with lead generating applications like Marketo, and also our own marketing automation software. Who Knows Whom is a great feature that looks across the Office graph. So if you're using Office and you're working with a customer that you just got assigned a new account, that customer may have been talking to 10 people within your organization and you had no idea. Because of Who Knows Whom, we're looking across that graph and we can show you a widget of who knows your customer in your company. So maybe somebody's been emailing back and forth with your customer for the past 3 years and you had no idea. This gives you a peek into that and you can get introduced through somebody within your own company, which is very useful if you're working in a very large organization or if you're new to the company. Email engagement gives you visibility into what happens after send. So email engagement gives you more insights into what the customer has done with your email, how long they spent writing their email, how long you've spent emailing your customer, and then you can see the disparity if your customer is spending more time trying to contact you than if you're contacting them. And notes analysis allows you to be more proactive, so it will scan your notes. If it sees a new customer or a new contact, it will suggest if you'd like to create a new contact out of that note. We're making a lot more investments in this natural language processing and how we can be more predictive in what you're writing into the system and how to automate and build upon that. With predictive opportunity scoring, we're taking a look at all of the data around the opportunity, and we can tell you a score on whether that is a good opportunity. If you're not contacting your customer, or if you haven't had a meeting in the past 6 months, it will all feed into whether that opportunity has a high score or not. And we'll tell you why. There's a whole list of reasons of why we scored that opportunity the way that we did. And relationship analytics is also part of that office graph. I can show you a demo of this if you would like, and I was hoping to. I just want to make sure we get through a couple more slides. Auto capture is also related to notes analysis, where we're trying to intelligently capture that data and pull it back in CRM, because remember, sales reps don't like typing, and they don't like putting data into CRM. This makes it easier to pull that back in. And talking points, we're looking at relevant information that you can bring up again with your customers. So if you don't remember the last conversation you had with them, we can bring up a talking point that you can remind your customer and say, how was that vacation that you had last month? And all of this is really great intelligence, but we also know that intelligence is kind of hard to jump right in with. We have a great tool called the Relationship Assistant. And the Relationship Assistant is essentially a set of cards that surface up on the screen to tell somebody that here's your next best action, this is what you should focus on. And with the Relationship Assistant, we just came out with a preview of the Assistant Customization Center. This allows you to create these cards yourself using business rules. There's going to be more intelligence in this, but it's a very great way for someone to get started in configuring simple rules on top of flow that will bring up a card. And we also give the ability to rank these cards, which is very important, because if you have a lot of cards being generated, you want to surface the ones that are the most important. In our ecosystem with all of our partners, we're also working with partners to create their cards too. So if there's next best content, if there's next best product, if there's an upsell or cross-sell opportunity, we're working with partners to generate those cards too, so that you get those out of the box if you're using that partner. And then the assistant is also going to be available on the Teams bot. So when you open up your bot experience, first thing you see for the day is, here are all the things you need to focus on. Because CRM has a lot of data in it, and in the past, the rep had to read all of that data and synthesize it themselves. This is surfacing that data for them to tell them what's the next best thing they should focus on to help close the deal. So these two things are coming out soon. They're in preview right now. They will be GAing over the summer, but you can take a look at it and play with the tools today if you'd like. So we're trying to build things that are more adaptable. We're trying to get a better extensibility story with our partners, and we would like to be able to have your business scale and grow with us. And through scale, we're thinking about, with the Power Platform, we're investing not just in our sales application, but the Power Platform is moving at lightning speed. So everything that we're building, we get the benefit of being built on top of the Power Platform. So when Flow has a new enhancement, that Assistant Center also gets that enhancement. When Power Apps gets an enhancement, you can embed a Power App into the Dynamics 365 for Sales application. So it's all connected, and we're trying to make this whole product feel as if it's all one, and you get everything with it. But when I publish my release notes, I only talk about what's happening in sales. But I think it's really important to understand that it's not just sales, you get sales and the Power Platform with that. So in AppSource, we have a ton of partners, and we've been working really closely with a few over the past 6 months. And I think it's really great that we've had so many partners, but what we haven't done as a product team is we haven't been building with them in our products. So what we did with CPQ is we invited a few CPQ partners out for all-day sessions. And we asked them, what is so hard to build on Dynamics, and what do you need to make this experience better? And we got a lot of great feedback from them. We built into CDS, We connected CDS with F&O so that the product entity and the list price entity is all connected. And we also worked with them on fixing things like click to quote for email, generating a PDF and attaching it to an email. Something very simple, but it went a long way, and we got that feedback by working closely with our partners. So with CPQ, we launched this partnership with Explogix and Pros. If you were in my session yesterday, you would have seen really great demos where they're building deeper into CDS. They're building power control framework components that can be on the screen, and it adapts with the screen to mobile. And they're also building more with things like mixed reality, like you saw in the demo. And there will be more partners being announced with CPQ very soon. With content management, we are working closely with Seismic and HighSpot right now to have a deeper integration for surfacing your content recommendations, what's the next best content you should show for this customer, or what kind of content really helped close an opportunity that's similar to this opportunity. And being able to tag popular content, so if there is a certain type of content that others are really liking, our partners are helping build that. And they're surfacing that through our relationship assistant. So what you'll see is that in our relationship assistant, they're generating cards to show the sales rep what is the best content to use for this opportunity. And then for partner relationship management, we did have a partner relationship management capability with our portals, which was the ADX portals. And the partnership relationship management portal that we had was good. You can customize it as much as you'd like, but we felt that there were other partners out there who do PRM a little better. And we've decided to partner closely with ImPartner and WorkSpan, who both have very unique offerings, to really help extend that capability. These partners have the ability to look across multiple CRMs. So if you have a partner who's using a completely different CRM than you are, this third party has good connectors that can pull all the opportunities together, and they can stage the way that an opportunity moves through from the beginning of that just starting to get to know you to when you're close to closing the deal. It will open up more data in the system. And they also can recommend those next best actions. So again, back to the relationship assistant, WorkSpan and ImPartner can generate these relationship assistant cards which can appear on the screen, which can give the rep the best information possible in order to help close that co-sell deal. And I think I have a copied slide here. So I was thinking with the time that I have, I can actually go into a demo, but I wanted to understand from the audience how familiar you were with what we currently have. So how many people have seen Dynamics 365 for Sales in detail already? All right, and how many have seen Sales Insights? Okay, so what I think I'll do is focus a little more on the relationship assistant. So I'm in the new user interface that I keep talking about. This is Unified Interface. And what's really great about it is that we do have the ability to shrink this screen down. I'm just going to remind everyone why this is amazing. And everything is going to reflow down into a single column layout. And this is what you would get on your mobile phone as well. When somebody builds a Power Control Framework component and they put that on the screen, Power Control Framework, PCF controls, are currently in preview right now, but they will be GAing shortly, and our partners are already starting to build these controls for the screen. If they build a PCF control, it adapts with our application, so it'll take all the theming that we have, and that power control will also be as if it's part of our application. And why that's important is it also will help reach more accessibility compliance levels. So if you do have an organization that is focused on accessibility needs, so if a screen reader needs to be able to read all these fields, Power Control Framework is folded into our entire application of reaching that compliance level, because Dynamics is accessibility grade compliant. So here's the relationship assistant on this side of the screen, and these are the cards. So the card can have multiple actions on it, so you could have a call to action to have somebody open something, or it can, and that will be opening the entity, or you could have them take another action, or it could be no action at all, it could just be information, so you can alert the user that something's happening. On this one, we have 3 different buttons here. You can open the case from the web. There's reasons here. If you click on one of these, it'll take you to the case. So these are case activities. Up here is no activity with the opportunity. If I clicked on this card anywhere in any part of this card, it will take me to the opportunity. Now, if I'm looking at the related, and I am not able to see it. It's over here. Sorry. So I'm loading right now an opportunity. Now, because I navigated to this opportunity from a view, which is basically a query, I get something called the record set navigation. And the record set navigation is something that's only available in UCI and the new user interface. And this gives you the ability to work through a long list of records. So if you create a query and you have to get through a lot of tasks, anytime you navigate from a query into, or from a view into the record, you'll get this navigation on the left. And it's really helpful because if I had opened my business process flow, because the business process flow is the way that we feel that people would want to focus on what is the next thing to do on this record, I can dock this over on the right if I have a lot of fields I need to focus on for this page, and that stays there. Now, if I was navigating between a lot of records, that business process flow is going to stay open. Now, if I scroll down here, I talked about who knows whom before. This is the control that looks across your organization. So if you're working with a new account or there's somebody that is talking to your customer that you don't know, we give you this nice graph to show you somebody else knows your customer very well. This guy, Alan, knows my customer really, really well. And I may want to get introduced to him, so I can send him a note if I'm new to the organization, and Jeff may have been the previous account manager, or maybe he was a sales engineer and he was at that call, or maybe he went to college with this guy and he emails him every now and then. It's a peek into this. It is not LinkedIn data. This is only looking at Office Graph and the relationship that other people in your company may have with your customer. Now, in relationship analytics, because we are also looking across how often people are being contacted, we can tell what your relationship with them is like. So if your relationship is good, that means you're contacting them, they're contacting you, back and forth, and things are looking healthy. But if we're seeing that your interaction is low and you're not contacting them, you can see that their relationship is poor. And we also tell you when the last time was that you contacted them. It looks like my last contact was in 2001. This demo data is great. And then your interactions here, we can tell if you were emailing them, how often they were emailing you, and then the comparison of the two. So you can see we've been emailing them a lot more than they've been emailing us, which is pretty healthy, but they're not responding as much. I think this is okay. And then we can also tell you how many times they're opening the email, if they're looking at the attachments you're sending them, and if they're clicking on the links in your email, which is very useful to know how engaged are they with you, and what their response rate is, and the response time. So this is looking at, don't worry, we're not recording anything, how long you're typing in Outlook. It's a mathematical algorithm looking at the number of emails by the average time that somebody would spend emailing. So based on the number of emails, we've been spending 10 hours sending a response, and they've been spending about 13. And then we can also see, again, back at that graph of people within the organization, in the company, we can see who is most contacting this customer and how are they contacting them. Are they contacting them by email, phone, or are they setting up meetings with them? And this gives you a little more idea of what that customer's preferred channel might be. So if they prefer email over phone, you can see that there's probably a heavier weight on that. And then over a timeline, you can see how often people are contacting the customer and how many times they're receiving emails and sending them over this continuum. So that is relationship analytics. I'm going to go back to the opportunities again and take a look at my Buy Dell Laptops opportunity. All right. So in this screen also, and I apologize, my data isn't as good as it should be, but we also would have given you an opportunity score here, which would tell you how this is progressing through the time continuum of how the opportunity is progressing. And then for your relationship health, we also give a score on how well you know this customer. So relationship analytics is very powerful. Sales insights is very powerful. We believe that this is really the future of how sales is going to evolve. So we're putting a lot of investments on the insights side of it. But I am responsible for the core, which is not sales insights. So I also want you to know that I am continuing to invest heavily in improving the usability of the product. I'm looking at how somebody would qualify a lead, how quickly it would take to qualify a lead, and making sure that they have the right tools that they need in order to close a deal. I do want to open up for questions if you guys have any. Yes. We're doing exactly that. So in forecasting, the question was, can you set a goal or a forecast by product? We are going to allow a product group and anything. You can forecast, basically set a goal and put a forecast against anything in the product. And that is currently not in the preview, but that's going to be part of our future release that's coming. Yes, it will be. But you can today, you can do roll-up queries. However, there's no tool for doing this. It's a very complex and hard to do, and it's not easy to understand how to do a roll-up query. We've heard a lot from our customers, and we're trying to build a better user interface for this, but we are building and extending upon what's existing today into our forecasting capability. Yes?
The forecasting thing, so the preview that you have right now, I understand that's going to be radically different than the real one that's coming sometime in the future. Is that also going to incorporate stuff like predictive forecasting, like if this customer's in oil and gas, and we've had them for only 6 years, this opportunity has slipped 7 times from this quarter to that quarter, stuff like that, predictive stuff, or more so just more manual?
It's going to be both. So we have manual as well as predictive. The predictive capability is currently in the preview. We have in a private preview a predictive forecasting capability, and it's doing more of a regression analysis today. But we're changing that to be more of what you just said, where we're looking at similar kind of things to predict and identify where that forecast might be a problem. So that is coming, and that will be part of our future release. Currently, we're estimating that we're going to release that possibly in the April timeframe. Yes?
Are there any plans to make the relationship assistant or sales assistant available also as Power Apps?
That's a great question. I'm not sure. The current landscape for that, I don't think so, but anything can happen. Thank you. Yes?
Are you going to be able to create individualized forecasts for each
No, I don't think it's going to do that. But we could follow up afterward because from what I've seen in the current roadmap, I don't think it's going to be allowing you to load in individual forecasts like that. It's more of an assignment model, so if you're assigned to certain opportunities and accounts, it's taking it from the assignment. So if you assign them, like we're not allowing you to upload it out of Excel, if that was the question.
Okay, but it sounds like if they are assigned that account, then when you trigger the need to update the forecast.
It's all based on assignment.
Okay.
Okay.
No.
All right. Okay.
Sorry, what was the time frame for that?
April.
Like next year?
April, it's going to be in preview before that. Yeah, because we have a few customers that we're building that closely with right now. And so if there are other people who are looking at this seriously and want to have a conversation. Let's talk about that then, definitely. And we can walk you through what we're building if you want to see a little deeper. But because it is not, it's being built right now, I can't publicly speak about it too deeply. But it will be coming. Yes?
For the unified forms, you customize through the customization and configuration the same way as you do the,
Yep, we have the same exact administration screen. The admin screens haven't changed. It's the same back end. There may be some things that have to be adjusted. So if you're using dialogues, dialogues are being deprecated, so you need to change that. Or if you're using workflow, some of that would need to be adjusted to business process flow, or business flow. So I think we would need to look at, like, if you're going heavy customization on dialogues, we'll have to see how you can convert those. But for the most part, everything should be seamless. Yes, in the back. Exchange, yes.
The other thing is, we still have a lot of users that like the Outlook add-in. I realize there's an Outlook app. Can you speak at all to connections?
So the Outlook app, the Outlook add-in for Dynamics is also built on the unified client. So when you're looking and you open up the Outlook add-in, it's pulling all the same information but into a smaller screen. And we associate what account or contact you're emailing over in Outlook, and then we load that panel. That is currently part of the platform now. So the Outlook app is it's still there, nothing's going away. They're continuing to invest in that. And it is a great capability that gives you insights into what's going on with your customers. So if on that screen that you're loading in the Outlook app, you can also add information in there and have a related list about any information you wanted to show. So if there were emails that were being sent through your marketing automation system, you could add that email related list into the form. It will show it in the same panel in the Outlook add-in. So that's the one big benefit of the unified client is when you configure something, it does carry through into other applications like the Outlook add-in. Yes?
Two quick questions. When do you plan on replacing Yammer with Teams in CRM? And two, when do you think the classic interface is going to totally go away when you replace that UI?
These are very forward-looking statements. I'm trying to think of how to answer that. So we are doing both. I'm working on a tighter integration with Teams, which means that the chat and everything will be more robust. I can't answer the Yammer question just because I don't have any information I can share. I don't know. But the Teams integration will become more robust, where we will have that chat interface in Dynamics. When that will be, I can't say yet. We're still scoping for the next couple of releases, but it's definitely on our roadmap, and we're planning to build a better integration with chat and with voice, with Teams, and with meetings, with presentation sharing. So that is coming. Your other question was around, what's the other one?
When the web goes away.
Yeah, when the classic UI is going to totally go away.
It will eventually. So I can't share when yet, but we are talking about how to make this a easier experience for our customers. I would say that if you're concerned about that, reach out to somebody on your team to get a nice view of what you have and what you need to do to get to the unified interface and understand where the gaps are.
I just have a lot of customers asking me all the time when they're not going to have to go to 2, it's just the UI.
You'll get probably an announcement in the next couple of months. February? I think that would be very aggressive, but you know, it's coming. We want to give people time to try to switch over. We're putting all of our investments into the unified interface, so you're not going to get a lot in the older web client unless you upgrade. So there's a lot of dangling carrots over there with the unified interface, but I would say that don't wait too long. Encourage your customers, or if you are using Dynamics, that you should get to that new experience as fast as possible, just so that you're not caught at the end when they do announce the deprecation. But I don't have a date to share. Sorry. Yes?
Are you guys going to be building the admin stuff in the new UI? So like there's marketing, sales hub, we have to switch to the old UI, all of our end users use the new UI, but we have to go back.
That is a great question.
Joel, it's in the Power Apps admin call area.
So there's multiple admin centers now. Yeah, so there is an initiative to get to one admin center, and that is moving to the unified interface. It's taking time because our administration center is massive and very complex. It's complex for a reason. It's awesome that it's so complex because you do so much, but it's so complex and it's hard to replace. So they're working on that now. There's actually the first wave of that we're trying out right now. My team builds the sales app, so in the sales hub, we have an admin settings toggle, so you can do very refined sales settings there. But if you're using service, you would have to flip to service and do that. We're trying to rationalize all of that right now because we know that it's a little confusing and where you have to go to configure what. So I understand your pain.
That'll happen before it gets deprecated, obviously, right?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if they're going to deprecate or they're going to have the admin stuff ready in time or not. It may be a hybrid mode because it's just so big. Any other questions? No? Oh, last one.
I haven't heard anything really about calendars. We talked about emails and opportunities, but what we hear a lot on the sales ops side is, how can I see opportunities and meeting dates on my Outlook calendar on my phone? I haven't seen really much yet.
So we are talking to teams about how to make that a more integrated experience because it's the view of what's coming next. It's your next visits with your customer and how to see a deeper view of what that customer is from Dynamics on that calendar item. So we're focusing more on teams for this, and that is definitely something I've heard from a lot of people. Yeah. Well, thank you, everybody. I've got to boogie over to my next session, so thank you so much.